Hey traders, Mark here. Today is Friday, December 8th. Hey, I've been getting a handful of questions just regarding Trade Empowered and the trade room that I was running. And so first and foremost, guys, I left Trade Empowered on good terms. And as everyone who, if you follow Trade Empowered at all, you know that there's been a huge shakeup there and a lot of people have left. I left because I had a great opportunity, honestly, that I just couldn't pass up. And frankly, I miss you guys. So I am trying to get back in the habit of doing some videos, posting some content, and it is my goal in 2018 to see all of you make the same mental shift that I made over the past 6 months. And I've got to be honest, it was very difficult to get there. You know, I've talked about this in a handful of videos, but my trading journey is no different than any of yours. You know, I blew some accounts, I read all the books, and you know, it's one thing to read the books, but then it's another thing to apply what you're reading. And frankly, most trading books just give you a bird's eye view, right? There's very little application. And you can't really apply the lessons until you've been in the trenches. Well, I've been in the trenches and I'm truly a data guy. So I finally found a way to get where I needed to be, and now it's my purpose to help you all see the exact same thing, because I'm going to tell you, your trading will continue to struggle until you can make a mental shift. So I am going to continue just showing every day these signals so that you can see I'm not just cherry picking days. Okay. Let's dig in. All right, so here's the action from today. So again, if you're not familiar with the rules, they're very straightforward. I wait for the 8:30 open, and here's my 8:30 open. And if I've already tested a zone prior to the 8:30 open, in order for me to be able to take a trade out of that zone, price has to come down and test the lowest low of that zone. And as you can see, here's where the zone formed. Here's the lowest low right here. So price has to at least come down and make an equal or lower low. And it just so happened that it did right at the open. So your entry is one tick above the high of this bar, which is at 84. Target achieved. So your first trade of the day is a winner. Now, after a target is hit, in order for me to take another trade, I have to have an opposite zone. So in this case, I need to have a red zone, and I have to break with a full body close my most recent bullish zone. So I can't take another trade here until that happens. So here's my red zone. I'm just waiting for a green zone or a break of this green zone. Oh, one thing I missed, the most important thing, are that the trend direction on both the 5-minute and the 15-minute have to be the same color. The only way I can take a trade if they're not the same color is if I'm inside of a zone on the 5 or 15, and then I get a zone on the tick chart, a fresh zone on the tick chart that is inside one of these zones. I don't think there were any of those today, but we'll see. Okay. So I break through this green zone. I have my red zone, so now I can take another trade. My 5-minute and my 15-minute are still bullish, so I'd be looking to trade out of this zone. Okay, now let's walk through this. Here's my first bar that comes into the zone. It's a PPT bar. So my entry is going to be one tick above the high, which is at 63.90. And I'm going to use this bar until I get a close below the low of my PPT candle. Okay. No trades. Here we go. Here's a trade, 63.90. I'm using a 7-tick stop, so I'm stopped out immediately right here. Now, in order to be able to re-enter, price has to come down and make an equal low of the lowest of the move in the zone or a new low. So no trade. Okay, here we go. Here's another trade. So this is not a PPT bar, so I just wait for a green up bar. So my entry is going to be 63.88. And I'm stopped out. Okay, now notice how I have a fresh low here. So, and this is also a PPT bar. So I'd be getting long again at 87.75, and it never triggers. Okay, it goes lower. Now this candle right here is a doji. This candle does not count for a break of the zone. So I would take a trade here at 86, and I'm stopped out. Okay, so now this zone is gone. So at this point, in order for me to take another trade, I have to have a green zone. Let's wait and see if I get one. No green zone, no green zone. Price was just really choppy today. No green zones. Here's a green zone. All right, here's a candle. I'm going to get long here at 87.25. I get a move up. Actually, I'm sorry. My long is actually going to be above this bar at 87.75. Okay, so I'm stopped right there. Now I'd be waiting for a green up bar. This is not a PPT bar, but it is. I do have an equal low, so I can take another trade. And no trade. This candle represents a full body close below the zone, so no more trades in this zone. Okay. I missed. This would have been a great short, but it is not one I could take. All right, so now I am red and red. Now, actually, my red, yeah, I am red and red. Okay, so now I can take a trade in this red zone at triggers right here, and I'm stopped out. Okay, so that's 5 losses. Let's continue. Okay, now I'm red and green. No trades out of these zones. Now, guys, here's one thing that I keep trying to figure out, and I just haven't had the time to test it. But when I get inside these zones, like first and foremost, look at the 15. See how price came into this zone? You get a nice move out, comes back into it here. You get a nice move out. I want to figure out a good pattern inside these zones that I could trade off of. I just haven't had time to do it. But again, here's a spot where I have zones on the tick chart, and I have zones on the 5-minute. But because these aren't fresh zones, I'm not taking trades out of them, okay? So this is not a trade. Now, I can take I'm red and red, so I can take a short trade out of a zone. So on this spot right here, I'd be short with it 1 tick close below, or I'm sorry, 1 tick print below here at 77, and it never sets up. So that zone is now off the table. So now I need a fresh red zone right here. So I'd be short here at 70.50. Target hit. Okay, so now in order to take another trade, I need to have a green zone and then a break of a red zone. Here's a break of the red zone. Now I need a green zone. Oh, one more thing, gang. Look how price came into the 15 right here again, 15-minute zone, and look at this move out of it. Tell me that's not impressive. I mean, those 15-minute zones are great. And the risk reward there is fantastic. Okay, sorry. All right, now I'm just waiting for a green zone, which I never get. Okay, so that's the trading day. 2 winners and 5 losses. So that's on the tick chart. Now let's take a quick look at the 12 range, and then we'll go to the spreadsheet. And then I have a little surprise for you. All right, here's the 12 range. Let's find my 830 bar. It's right here. this is kind of a shame. My entry here is 84.75. I'm looking for a 15-point target. And you can see, look at this. It goes 13 points in my favor and then stopped out. So that's a loss. Now, look at this spot here, right? Remember the rules. If I break my most recent green zone and then a red zone prints, I'm looking for shorts only. And so that's what happens here, right? So it stops me out. So then I'm going to look for shorts only. So I took for a short right here, and that's a loser. And then this bar right here is a full body close above, so I can start looking for a long, which triggers right here for a loser. And then that breaks, then I can look for a short, and I got a loser. And then that's it the rest of the day, okay? Unfortunately, I missed all of this stuff. And then this would I would have had to hold to the close, but I could have been short here at 62.50, and I'd still be in it because it only went 2 points against me. So it went 8 points in my favor. That's a decent move. We'll see what the Monday or Sunday evening open holds, but I would be looking for a move, 15 point move out of this. So what is that? 47.50. And honestly, I don't mind holding over the weekend. I will warn you that I did have a situation where price gapped against me and I lost an extra 3 points. Okay, so just be aware that that could easily happen. Anyway, so on the 12 range chart, it was 0 for 4 today. Okay, so now let's go to the spreadsheet. And I switched this up a little bit so we could read it a little bit better. But these are weeks, okay? So I have 6 weeks worth of data here. I now have a total of 273 trades. All right. Now my win percentage is only 22%. Okay, and this is a net profit figure after commissions and after slippage. And then this is telling me what the weekly ROI is. So you can see out of the last 6 weeks, approaching 300 trades, there's been one losing week, and it was a positive week before slippage and commission, but after slippage and commission it was a negative week. And you can see that week I only won 16%. My highest winning week was 30, and that was a killer week. Now I didn't have that many trades, right? Whereas this week has the highest ROI, but I had a lot of trades. Okay, so now here's what's really important, guys. Anyone can trade this strategy. One thing that I've recognized in my teaching hundreds of people is that most traders are undercapitalized. And I was that way at one point as well. In fact, I used to risk 3% of my account on a trade. I believe that's too high. So I don't want to risk more than 1.5% of my account per trade. It keeps it very conservative, and what it does is it minimizes the impact of drawdowns, which, let's be honest, that is the hardest psychological hurdle that any trader faces. So if we look at this data, you can see this, so we can break this out over here. Gross wins 12,200, gross losses 7,420. Pretty high commission because there's a lot of trades, but it's almost $1,400 in commission, and then slippage is another $350. Makes the net $3,074. Now this is only risking 1.4% per trade. What I'm doing is I'm using a $2,500 account per contract, and I'm risking $35 per trade. So based on that, it's 123% return. Now let's look at compounding, right? Because I realize that $3,000 over 6 weeks, that's $500 a week. I mean, we all probably want to make more than that, but here's the end game, gang. Increase your size, right? Trading 6 contracts, it's a $15,000 account. $3,000 a week average after commissions and slippage. That's a living, gang. You can survive on that. And you can imagine how quickly this will compound. Because if you make this in a week, the next week you're trading 7. If you do it again, you're trading 8. You get the idea, right? I wonder if I can just do this formula. I bet it will. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Here we go. Beautiful. So you get to 10 contracts and you're trading a $25,000 account, averaging $5,000 a week. Gang, that's $250,000 a year. Okay, so that's my spiel. I hope it's not getting old. I don't care if it is, because I'm going to pound it into your head. Again, I grew up in the same educational space that you guys did. I used to believe that win percentage truly mattered. And I used to always wonder when I read the Market Wizard books, or if I read a book about, or an article about Paul Tudor Jones, when they talk about only winning 30% of their trades or 20% of their trades, I thought, how in the hell are these guys professionals only winning 20% of their trades? Well, guess what? I'm better than them. I'm winning 55% of my trades. The problem is, my wins are much bigger than my losses. So when you have a losing streak, it hurts. And it takes a while to make back. All right, before I take off here, here's my exciting news. I know we have a lot of forex traders out there. I have the first iteration done on Meta Trader 4. You can see this is a demo account. I've never used Meta before. I'm still trying to get myself familiar with it, but I have some very interesting plans for MetaTrader. And I found a great programmer who I think can get me where I want it to be. But you can see, gang, this is on Forex. This is a 1-minute chart. You know, if we just kind of scroll through the zones, you can see, gang, this stuff works, right? It works on any time frame, any instrument. You know, obviously you get some, nothing set up here. You would have had a loss in here. You had a loss in here. Would have never had a setup in here. Nice move out of this zone, depending on how you're trading this, right? Look, I'm just quickly scanning through these zones for you. But you can see, look at these moves out of them, right? Look at that, beautiful. See how they hold? Holds pretty well. I would not have taken this one. Here's a nice move out of a zone. Another nice move out of a zone. Nothing set up in here. Look at that rejection up there. And again, it's just a 1-minute chart. Would have had a loss in there. No setups in here. Loss. Here's a nice move. Wow, clearly news. Whoa, hello. Look how even on this gap up, though, how it comes into the zone, it pauses, gaps up again. What is this? And then it comes into this zone and fails. And then here we go. You break this sell zone, and nice move out of the buy zone, right? Look at that. Big spike into the red zone. Slam down. Would not have been able to catch this one here because I had a red zone above me. Would be looking for a move back into here. Actually, your move would have been into this one. It never set up, and then look at this. Prints here. Beautiful move. Here you go. Here's a nice move. Look at this. Tight zone. Look at that. Comes right back into it here and takes off. Again, right back into it here. And you're not going to be taking these because you can see that your predominant zones are bullish here, right? Look at these moves, guys. Would not have been able to take this one. Oh, it turns out that's a good idea, right? Because here's your better trade. Moves back into this zone again. Look at this. Tight zone. Back into it right here. Here you got your move up. Your zone prints. Move into it here. Forming a new zone. And then it takes off. Anyway, gang, stay tuned. Seriously, I've got some great stuff that I'm working on. I can only do so much because I am working at a startup company right now. It's a venture that if it goes well, gang, there's a chance that I can say that I took part in possibly changing the healthcare spectrum, or healthcare continuum, I should say. Okay, gang, have a great weekend.